And just four, got my drink ready. It's actually not coffee because I haven't made my coffee yet, but I'm going to do that as soon as I get done. So right now is water because it's also like 800 degrees right now where I live. So water is better anyway. But then right after that, this will be filled with coffee. So yeah. It's Saturday morning. You're trying to relax with your coffee, but your brain is already spiraling about Monday's deadlines and all the things you have to do, right? So if this is you and work anxiety is still in your piece, let's talk about how to get it under control. Hi, I'm Keisha Dent. I'm a certified hypnotherapist, and today we're talking about how to stop work anxiety and actually enjoy your life outside of work. So let's set the scene. You are sitting trying to enjoy your time off, right? Trying to watch a movie. But you can't even get through the dang movie without mentally rehearsing what you have to do when you go back to work. Your brain just gets hijacked and it just takes control of all of this piece that you're trying to hold on to for yourself, spend time with your family, and it's turning it into a work strategy session, right? You tell yourself too, well, I'm just mentally preparing. I'm just being responsible. But deep down, you know this ain't right. You know that this constant work worry isn't healthy. It isn't something that is working for you, it's working against you. You know that you're physically present with your family, with your friends, with your fur babies, your pet, trying to enjoy your life. But you know that mentally, you're stuck in a totally different timeline. You're still stuck at work. And even though you may be accomplished, you may be good at your job, you maybe know with your entire conscious being that you can handle work things, your anxious mind is still just tapping you on the shoulder, just letting you know, what if you forgot something? What if there's something that you need to prepare for? What if when you get back to the office, everything is just piled up and out of control and you have to put out all of these fires? Are you going to be able to handle that? Let me remind you of all those things. What you really want is to be fully present without work thoughts invading your life. You want to trust that you can handle Monday when Monday arrives and not spend your entire weekend preparing for it in advance. The cost to living constantly projecting outward about work and not living in the present moment is that you're missing the very experiences that would recharge you. You're missing the actual point of your life. It's like your family, your friends, people who actually enjoy your presence, they get your body, but your mind is trapped in work anxiety loops, and it's not here in the here and now. This isn't just about relaxation. It's about your quality of life. What is most important to you, right? Remembering and being present in quality moments right now with people that you love, during times that you love, in places that you want to remember, or spending all of your energy, wasting all of this energy, worrying about emails and worrying about work that ultimately will turn out fine anyway. Now, here's the key to stopping work anxiety. It lies in understanding why it happens in the first place. So work anxiety stems from really two core fears at the foundation. One is lack of control, and another is fear of rejection. Your mind genuinely believes that constant worry equals job security. It thinks if you stop mentally rehearsing scenarios, you'll somehow become incompetent overnight. And if you are becoming incompetent, that means rejection. That means that you failed the community, that you failed the tribe. And that means that you're going to be thrown out to the wolves outside of the cave. And if these are very, very dramatic and very archaic sort of imagery, that's the point. The part of your mind that often worries, that drives worry, that drives fear, that drives anxiety, is a part of the mind that has not really evolved much for generations, right? For thousands and thousands of years. It's still very much concerned about primitive situations that are no longer part of the modern human experience. And here's what's important to understand. Your anxiety thinks it's doing a job, right? It's convinced that worry is an important job that it needs to do in order to protect you, to protect your career, to protect your reputation, to protect everything you've worked for. And to your mind, anxiety is a really important purpose, function, and insurance policy, right? The problem with this is that work worry isn't making you more prepared. It's obviously making you more exhausted. It's not improving your Monday performance. It's stealing your Saturday, Friday, Sunday vacation peace. So how do we stop this? First, again, it's so important to recognize that your worry isn't actually productive planning, okay? True preparation happens during the work hours. It happens during the time that you are preparing to leave for your time away, right? You spend time taking focused action. Worrying on the weekends, worrying when you go home, worrying on your vacation is just your nervous system stuck spinning its wheels in overdrive, expending energy that is not doing you any good. And in fact, can honestly turn inward and cause all sorts of mental and physical issues. As mentioned, all anxiety really boils down to two primal fears: fear of rejection and fear of losing control or facing uncertainty. Your mind is desperately trying to protect you from professional rejection, from being fired, from being criticized even, or even just seen as less than or incompetent. And it's trying to create certainty in an uncertain world by mentally rehearsing every possible scenario, which is an exercise in futility. This is just something that just cannot be done. Your mind genuinely wants to serve you. It really does. And it thinks giving you anxiety is helping you, just like a loyal but very misguided assistant working overtime to keep you safe. So let's talk about how to stop this and stop overthinking about work. Number one, acknowledge your mind's good intentions, just like we just mentioned. So when you notice work anxiety starting, you want to pause and you actually want to say, thank you. Thank you, mind. Thank you, servant of mine, greatest servant, of which I can't do anything without your help. Thank you for trying to protect me. And this is also important because it's so important whenever we're trying to create change and really get what we want, what we most desire. We need all parts of us on board. And one of the biggest ways that we can get in our own way is when we begin to turn on ourselves. When we begin to take that frustration and kind of make enemies of our own self. And a person divided cannot be a person that's successful. So I literally give yourself gratitude. This isn't sarcasm. It's recognition. You need recognition. Just like we praise puppies, we praise children, you still need to be praised and you still need to be recognized. Your brain is doing what it thinks it is, what it thinks is best, right? And this is something that you have inherited from generations of ancestors who lived, they were successful, they survived, and they passed on this instruction to you. We just need to tweak it, right? We just need to learn how to work with it well. So when you push back against anxiety, it can push back harder. But when you acknowledge it, right? When you acknowledge it, say, okay, I see you. I see where you're coming from. You can create space for change. Number two is to do a complete brain dump, right? So get a piece of paper, open up a document, can be on your phone, can be a physical document, something on your laptop, and write down everything that's swirling in your head. Get it out of your head and get it out and down onto some sort of paper. Every worry, every what if, every task you think that you're forgetting, right? Don't edit, don't organize, just dump it all out. And this stops that mental rumination loop because your brain no longer has to keep recycling the same thoughts to remember them, right? It's just doing a lot of work. It's trying to do all the things. So it takes at least one of the jobs away right now. Make your mind's job easier. And so often just seeing them on paper, number one, will calm you down a bit. And number two, it also, in the full light of day, nothing quite shrinks worries and fears often like the sun, right? The energy of the sun, the light of the sun. When the full light of illumination hits what we're actually afraid of, they can feel smaller, right? Less threatening than they felt when they were in the darkness of your mind. Step number 3 is to redirect your mind's energy. Okay, so now give your mind a better job. So instead of endless scenarios playing around and around about potential mistakes, do your best to redirect that powerful mental energy into present moment awareness. So when work thoughts intrude during personal time, gently guide your attention back to what you're actually doing, okay? Being good about drinking coffee, right? Drinking your coffee or water, because in a case of me, because I haven't gotten it together to make my coffee yet. Talking with family, watching a movie, being outside, enjoying the place that you are, enjoying the time that you're in. Save strategic planning for work hours, right? Where you can actually take actual action. Number 4 is to practice uncertainty tolerance. Just remind yourself of this constant universal truth. You've handled every challenge life has thrown at you so far. And unless you're some magical unicorn, I know, life has thrown some challenges at you before. And you have overcome, navigated, managed, overstepped, underwent, fixed, all of them, right? And you can do that again. Next week's problems, Monday's problems, they don't need to be handled right now, today. Your past resilience is proof of your present and future and enduring capability. Just practice saying, I can handle anything. I can handle this. I can handle whatever life throws my way. Practice saying, I don't need to figure this out right now. And trust that when the time arrives, you'll handle it with the same competence, the same strength, the same power, the same effectiveness that you always have before. Number 5 is to keep yourself busy, keep yourself occupied, right? Keep yourself present. So an idle mind is anxiety's playground. And I'm smiling right now because I'm thinking of this movie called Idle Hands. I think it's like Devon Sawa and Jessica Alba. I don't know if you've ever seen it, about how he had idle hands and then his hand got like possessed. Anyway, as stated, an idle mind is anxiety's playground, or the devil's playground, if you will. I think that one is older. And when you're not actively engaged in something meaningful, your brain will often default to worry mode. Again, this is an old ancestral pattern, right? Because negativity, worry, anxiety, back in the days before we had the internet, before we had this huge compendium of knowledge that was available at our fingertips, the world was a much more wild, chaotic, unpredictable, and dangerous place. And your best mode of survival was worrying about something, was always assuming the worst case. If you never saw a saber-toothed tiger before, your best survival mechanism was to take a look at that thing and be like, nope, not yes, nope. That was how we survived, right? So this is, to this day, is how our minds work. So instead of letting it just be free to do and default back to these old, primitive states that it likes to do, plan activities, plan your time that require your full attention, that require your full presence, your embodiment in your body. Cook a new recipe, do a puzzle, take a nature walk, play with your kids, play with your pets, start a creative project, learn an instrument, write a book, right? The key is choosing activities that genuinely engage your mind and all its fullness, and that bring you and anchor you into the present moment. When your brain is occupied with something fulfilling and you fill it up with life, with meaning, with meaningful activity, it can't also simultaneously run anxiety loops about work or about anything else. It has to do one or the other. And number 6 is to give your mind new thoughts the night before, right? So the night especially is a common time when a lot of anxiety loops kick in. And then again, it has to do with often this is the time that we start to rehearse everything that happened before. We start to think about what's going to happen the next day. And there's also a lot of idleness, right? Of empty time. So the night before, you want to consciously program your mind with positive, peaceful thoughts about the weekend ahead, about the time ahead that you're going to spend, about what's coming in on the next day ahead. And instead of letting your mind spiral into all of the stress that's upcoming about Monday's meetings and going back into the office and the this and that and the pile that's going to await you, deliberately focus on what you're looking forward to, right? Deliberately think about what is good about what is coming up. And also, especially if your next day is also more time off, think about what are you going to look forward to? Sleeping in, family time, hobbies, relaxation, okay? Or if this is the night before you return, think about what's good. You get to earn money. Money is awesome. Money is power. Money is opportunities, and money means you get to eventually spend it or decree what you want to do with it. Money is power, and money is here to serve you, and you love money, or at least you should, right? So this is also where hypnotherapy can become incredibly powerful because it can help you to access your subconscious mind and to literally reprogram those automatic recurring worry patterns into thoughts of confidence, into thoughts of peace. Your mind is most receptive to new programming right before sleep. You're in that beautiful phase right there when it loves to take in information. So this is a great time to use this window to install new thoughts that actually serve you. The transformation happens when you realize your mind isn't your enemy. It just needs better instructions about how to actually serve you and your success. And before I go, I'd like to address another common question that often comes up whenever we're talking about work worry and work anxiety, which is, should I quit my job? Now, before you consider any drastic changes like quitting your job, I want to ask you this. What really is the issue? Because I bring this up because sometimes it is the work and sometimes it is the job, right? But often the problem isn't the job. It's how your mind is processing work stress and work anxiety. And some questions to ask yourself is, first of all jobs will bring anxiety and stress, right? So no job I think worth having will give you no anxiety and no stress at any time. Those the type of jobs tend to, if they do exist, not to pay that well or bring in a whole lot of income. Now, that being said, when you think about what you do, when you think about the income that you're getting for it or whatever your reasoning is for having that job, do you believe that the exchange is equal? Or do you believe that you are getting the short side of the stick? So these are just some questions to ask yourself when navigating that change. Now, instead, imagine making Monday's decisions from calm confidence, from strategic calmness, right? Instead of anxiety spirals. And this isn't wishful thinking. This is what happens when you stop letting work anxiety run your life and start using your powerful mental energy with intention. Now, if you're a high achieving professional woman who's tired of work anxiety, sabotaging your success, stealing your peace, stealing your presence, I want to share something important with you. Your anxiety isn't protecting your life. It's not protecting your career. It's not keeping you aware and keeping you prepared. It's actually blocking your potential. And every moment you spend overthinking, second guessing yourself, that's energy that could be channeled into unstoppable confidence, into living fully into your life, because this life is what living is all about. Here's what work anxiety is really costing you. Lost opportunities, right? Because you doubt your qualifications, you doubt your competence, and losing out on roles that you are overqualified for. Decision paralysis that prevents you from taking strategic risks. Physical symptoms that undermine your authority in high-stakes situations. Mental fatigue that drains the energy that you need to do your best. But what if I told you that that same mind that creates anxiety patterns can also be transformed into your greatest asset? Frequency shift, transforming from anxious to unstoppable, is specifically designed for professional women who refuse to let anxiety limit their potential. Instead of just managing symptoms, we transform the neurological patterns that create anxiety into the same patterns that create unshakable confidence. Through this work, you'll eliminate presentation anxiety, make decisions with authority, command respect in any room, sleep deeply without racing thoughts about your work. You'll transform perfectionism from paralysis into productivity and channel your analytical nature into something more strategic that actually advances your life and your opportunities. This isn't just about feeling better, right? It's about claiming the roles, the income level, the recognition, the peace, the confidence that you deserve. So if you're ready to stop letting anxiety block your success and you're ready to transform it into unstoppable confidence, then message me with frequency shift, and let's explore how this method can eliminate the barriers between you and your next level of achievement. One message could change everything. So if you've been watching this long, I want to thank you for hanging in. And again, my name is Keisha Dent. I'm a certified hypnotherapist. And I want to remind you always, in order to change your life, you must first change yourself. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you next time.